What is happening, TwT fans? It is so good to be back on this July 2nd, 2026. It's time for another Talking with Topher. This is episode 326, and boy, oh boy, do I have something in store for all of you. But before I get into that, let me start off the way I always do, by saying thank you. Thank you to all of my subscribers out there. You are the reason I keep coming back week after week. If you're new, popping by, or just checking out the channel, remember to hit that subscribe button. It's free for you. This thing's not free to do. If you want an opportunity to be a guest, tell your story, or maybe you just have a story that needs to be heard, TALKIN with Topher at gmail.com. It's the official email of the podcast. Go ahead and send an audio, video, or type it out. Linktree link. It's in the description below the video. It's where you can find everything TWT. It's just that easy. Go ahead, give it a click. It gives you access to everything. And don't forget to check out all the links in the description below the video so that you can go and do your own research. And now, with all the housekeeping out of the way, let's get into today's podcast. How is everybody doing out there? I hope everybody is gearing up and getting ready for the 4th of July barbecues and the fireworks and all the fun and all the loudness that comes with it. Hopefully your dog has a heavy blanket and makes it through the fireworks and the 4th of July one more year. I know that I have a dog that absolutely hates them, and I have a dog that absolutely loves them. I have never had a dog that actually sits outside and watches the fireworks, but it happened the other night. That's right. My youngest, Lana, she just sat there the other day when the fireworks were going off after the ball game in Manchester. They always have fireworks after games and stuff. And I thought she was going to come running in. The craziest thing happened. She sat on the lawn and watched them. Does anybody else have a dog that does this? It was absolutely mind-blowing. But I really do just want everybody to have a safe and happy 4th of July. And I have got a guest, a friend of the podcast, has been on many times, and we are just... Well, we're looking into everything, and we're discussing a lot of stuff today. So I am very excited for the episode that I have for all of you. So let's get ready for today's episode with my guest, a friend of the podcast, Elijah Weber. So good to have you back, my friend.
It's good to be back. Thank
Elijah is back in the podcast, a friend of the podcast. I like saying everybody's a friend of the podcast now. It sounds really fun. I heard Tim Dillon say it, and I'm like, you know what? Israel's a friend of the podcast. Jews are a friend of... Everybody's a friend of the podcast.
You got to love everybody. It's inclusive, especially this month.
So we're going to get into a lot of great stuff today. I'm excited because there's... when it comes to all of these things that we talk about, I guess if you want to categorize them as conspiracies today, you still can. But when we talk about this, I feel like you have one of the best, like, religion type of, backgrounds. Like, you know a lot about them. And I'm kind of excited to dig into that because I do have some questions for you.
I hope I can answer them.
Yeah, I think you're going to be able to, because they're not difficult. But on the other hand, just to be transparent, I have to say there's been a lot that I have looked at and absorbed over the course of a year. And I have to say, religion, even when I think I understand it, I hear something, and then, like, all of a sudden, I feel like the timeline shifted or something's different, and I just kind of get turned around or lost very easily. And maybe it's because I never wanted to look into it in the first place because I thought it was fake. So, but yeah, just to kind of narrate where my brain is, what I wanted to pick from you. But I'm just glad to have you back on, you know.
Thank you.
And let's get into it. Where do you want to start today?
Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Elijah Weber. I served in the military for 11 years. I was an airborne infantryman. Before that, I was in a mountain unit up in Vermont. I've been in law enforcement for almost 10 years in Massachusetts, and I've been a follower of Jesus Christ since I was 5 years old. Sometimes I'm not a very good one, but nobody's perfect. We're all sinners. So, but yeah, when I was 5, that's when my mom introduced me to Jesus on a street corner in Lynn, Massachusetts, and I've been under his hedge of protection ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let me start off with my first question, because
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know the difference, and I do apologize if this is a silly question.
Most people don't know.
What the fuck is the difference between Catholics and Christians? Because I found out that when I was growing up, I was Catholic, and I went to the Catholic church.
Well,
And I noticed that my friends, a few of them, are Christians. But when I went to the Mass, that was about the only difference I really saw. There was some little differences in the actual Mass. But can you actually tell me what the actual difference is between the two?
I'll try.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you can.
it's so if you really get into like the history, and I mean, we both know most of history is a lie, anyways.
Yes.
But if we plug ourselves back into mainstream history just a little bit, the Catholic Church was supposed to be the first church.
Okay.
At least, that's as my understanding, that was the idea. Because Peter, one of Jesus's disciples, Jesus said you're going to start the church, and that's supposed to be where it all started. But then it kind of got splintered off into these other things. I don't know why or how. I'm sure there's plenty of other people could explain.
Is that so? So it was supposed to be Catholic in the beginning, and it branched off to Christian?
No, I it's hard to explain. Because some of these terms weren't really coined until later in history.
Okay, that's fair.
I know the internet tries to say that Judaism was coined, or the term of Jew was coined at around like 500 BC, but I don't believe that. Because I don't even think those people back then really called themselves Jews. They were just followers of the law of Moses. And then when people say, "Oh, well, Jesus was a Jew," yeah, well, maybe, but he was technically a Nazarene. He was Jesus of Nazareth.
Yes.
So I don't think the word Jew really came around until later.
Oh, I see what
I've
you're
seen
saying.
some things in like the alternate timeline where it's like the term like a Jew came around like maybe around the time of Islam. I don't know. That could not be true. This is for entertainment purposes only, by the way. So like, if you're getting in the comments section, oh, this freaking guy.
No, that's fine.
And before we go on, I'd like to renew Chris's Jew pass or J pass, excuse me, just because I am one on paper.
And I appreciate that. I do.
I just thought I'd make that point first because I don't want anybody coming in here saying we're being anti-Semites.
No,
we're not. We don't hate anybody unless you're trying to hurt children.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. We don't hate anybody. We don't agree with Zionism.
Right. And
I don't stand with Israel. I don't.
Yeah. And these are my political views. I don't care what you do with the free will God gave you.
Yes.
All right. As long as you're not hurting anybody, in particular children. Yep. As long as whatever you're doing is with consenting adults, I don't care if you're gay, straight, whatever.
No, it doesn't matter.
It's none of my business.
Right.
Just as long as you're not hurting anybody, in particular children, you'll never hear from me.
That's right.
That's it. Those are my political views.
I love it. I love it. So let me
say...
No, it's fine. It's fine. Let me tell you what my breakdown of the two are, and you tell me whether or not I'm close, because this is like in my brain, right? So Catholics, you're just supposed to feel guilty about everything, and Christians, I feel like there's less guilt involved.
So kind of. So like with
that's
Catholics,
what I got out of the two.
The Catholic Church today is more of a control mechanism.
Oh, okay.
This is my opinion. Everybody calm down.
I can see that.
They use a lot of fear, the whole fire and brimstone thing. Like all,
I'm saying.
Like the Pope said, I forget which one, but he said, hell's not real, but the devil is. And that got me thinking. I was like, what? That's a pretty profound thing for that guy to say that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then I started looking at like the architecture of things at the Vatican and things on the inside, and they have this telescope called Lucifer, which I thought was kind of weird. And then they have like this one room where there's this weird like statue. It almost looks like Jesus, but like I don't think it is because it's a little sinister looking. And in the top corners of this room is like two little snake eye looking things. There's a lot of serpent symbolism
Mm.
in the Catholic Church. I don't think it was like supposed to be like that at first, but I do know the Freemasons built most of the churches. Like they were super into like
Most of the
sacred.
Catholic churches, or
Yes.
just most of the
Yes,
churches?
most of the Catholic
Most of the
churches, like those
Catholic.
big,
Oh,
giant, beautiful, sacred geometry, architecture type of buildings, they built most of them. Like there's one in Rhode
okay.
Island. One of
Interesting.
my friends, he died years ago, and I went to his funeral, and in this big, beautiful Catholic church in Rhode Island, I think it was in Providence, there was the pyramid or the triangle with the eye in it, and I'm just like, that's not a you know
Oh,
I,
weird.
I mean,
Okay.
we can argue the semantics of that all we want, but like when you get into when you go deep into like that esoteric stuff, it's not really, it's not, it's kind of, I don't want to say contradictory, but it is contradictory almost to the teachings of Jesus, because
Yeah.
all that stuff is about man becoming God. And I know I'm kind of rambling now, but the whole thing with the Catholic Church, I think nowadays, is a control mechanism. And it
Oh.
also means, like, I think confession might be a way of like keeping tabs and blackmail on people.
Oh shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that today.
I mean, I
You
could
know what
be
I mean?
wrong, but like, so with the Catholic Church, they want to have like the priest class as the intermediary between you and God.
Yeah.
Jesus said, "You don't need that.
Right.
You just need me in
Right.
your heart,"
Yeah.
which is like
Well,
is more in depth than like than people think.
yeah. Well, the reason I'm asking this is because, like, one, I don't, I've always felt like this off-putting feeling
Hmm.
from walking into those buildings in the first place, and over time and talking with you and Miguela, I've come to realize that those are possibly places where worship brings Satan instead of Jesus or God, and on top of that, the books being rewritten and things being redacted and taken out is why you can go there, pray, and feel empty. Which is all of the things that I was feeling. And now that I'm at home, I do it when I'm walking around, while I'm doing laundry, whatever I'm doing. You know what I mean? I talk to him now,
Hell yeah.
and I actually feel different, and it's weird. I'm just doing it on my own. There's nothing else going on. I mean, I listen to verses of the Bible because dyslexia causes me to see words that don't exist, or I miss words that are supposed to be there. You try reading a sentence 5, 6 times to
Yeah,
get to the
same.
next one. Fucking, I'd rather listen all day than try to read, and just, it's terrible for me. So
That's good.
I was like, so with all that being said, I'm like, oh shit, I actually, something does feel different. And I'm like, well, maybe, and you listen and you listen and you listen, and you're like, oh wow, there's been so much taken out
Yeah.
that, like, it brings me to my next thing, and then we can go wherever you want to from
Sure.
here. I don't want to stay too long on this, but I am curious about the Ethiopia, where
I just got a copy of that Bible, by the way.
you did.
Yeah.
Okay, did now, I didn't endorse obviously the advertisement in it, because obviously they were advertising that Bible, but where did you end up getting it?
There's this company called Faith Made, I
Okay,
think.
okay.
But the thing is like,
And that
I
has
like a
the
physical.
88, right?
No,
No?
I thought it was going to. There's an online version that is like a bonus that comes with the book, and they're like, well, if you use that, you'll have all the books. And I was like, okay, well, that's great. I wanted all the books in front of me in one book in
Interesting.
chronological, or whatever you think the chronological order is. I can
Right.
figure it out later. But like, I like to have all that in front of me. I like to highlight things. I like to, like make notes and like all that kind of stuff. And I was just kind of sad that that wasn't the case. But the one important thing I got to say about seeing that translation is they, instead of like, in the Old Testament, or even just all throughout the Bible, they refer to God as the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they call him by his name in this one,
Really?
which is Yahweh.
What?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Like in the
What's his
beginning,
name? Say it again.
Yahweh. Or
Yahweh?
in,
Huh.
it's, if you've ever seen the Tetragrammaton, is these 4 Hebrew letters, the Yod He Vav He. That is supposed to be the
I've heard of
sacred
it.
name of God that you're not supposed to speak.
Oh.
But like, you know, it's pretty fascinating. You see it in Freemasonry too, and like it gets into like sound and vibration and all this
Yes.
other stuff because
Yes.
in Genesis it says, in the beginning God said let there be, or according to the Ethiopian Bible, in the beginning Yahweh said let there be light, let there be, like he spoke it and it happened. So, and that gets, you can get into manifestation, which is, I think, is just an occult way of
Yeah.
like trying to become your own God, but the mechanics are similar, if not the same. And what people
Interesting.
don't understand is when they're doing that stuff, you're trying to do what God does yourself,
Mm.
also known as the left-hand path of occultism, which is, manipulating other people's will according to your own will, not the will of God the Father, because everything happens in his time. And it's seldom early, but it's never late. And when you try to use magic to manipulate other people's will and thoughts, you're taking that person off of God's timeline.
Yeah.
And that's not okay.
Wow.
And then there's a karmic retribution you'll pay for that, down the road.
Down the road.
So
I found the whole thing to be really fucking interesting.
It is,
The first
but-
start of Christianity, the whole thing where they stored it, and then the fact that, like we're not like superhuman and we don't have like powers, but I do believe that there was a way that we all communicated and got things done without the words that we're using
we
today.
were probably telepathic back then.
I do
probably.
believe there was something that we're missing.
And during the tower, like the climbing of the Tower of Babel, is when everybody, it was all one language back then. And they all, like Megillah says they were trying to go up there and kill God. I'm a little iffy on that part. It would seem very plausible, though. I'm not trying to throw shade. I think he's onto something.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really yet to be wrong about anything. Sometimes I'm like, oh, is he going to be wrong today? Nope. But
yeah.
But to get back to what you were saying earlier, because you were saying, you talk to God a lot now and whatnot, and you can feel like, I'm assuming in your heart, the goodness, right?
Yeah.
To me,
it's actually, it's different.
That is what heaven is. That's heaven on earth. It's in your heart.
Right.
And in one of those Dirty Olaf German guy videos, he talks about that, where it's like, Josh, hell is just a state of mind, yeah? Like if you are having anxiety and all that others, or that's just one example. Fear is the biggest thing. Fear is the one thing that will lower your inner frequency down to these lower levels, and that's what that will open your heart to attack from negative entities that we can't see because they're moving at a frequency that we can't see.
Right. And if you are living in fear, you're giving them what they want, which is to drain your energy.
Yes.
Because once they drain your energy, you are more controllable.
They're parasites.
Yes. I agree with that 100%.
It's a war for your mind.
And I do believe that what I'm doing today is helping me with that, because I do feel my energy being drained every fucking day with all this garbage going on and the ties that
it's all trauma-based stuff.
It's if
crazy.
You actually pay attention to like Fox 25, you must be super depressed. I mean, it's just garbage everywhere and just nothing but fear tactics left and right. Just listening to third-party people, it's tough to listen to what's going on today, because all you're seeing is our financial futures maybe not existing in some sense or another.
And that's it's a scary thing to think about.
I honestly,
because we have like no control over it.
Right. And
down at this level.
I really do believe that, I think, and I don't want it to be true, I hope it's not, but I really think that what's going on today is going to be worse than fucking COVID lockdown, dude.
It will be, because
I think it's going to be
the
way
COVID
worse.
thing was just a beta test.
Look at how many jobs, people, businesses just gone, right? Just from COVID, then reopening and then failing.
Wait till they shut the grid down.
6 years, dude. We're 6 years separated, and it's been a tremendous amount of people that have lost everything. We're going through round 2, bro.
They're gonna try. They just tried it with the hantavirus, and I just want to say shout out to the people who did not put up with that bullshit.
Yeah.
They came in hot, and y'all were like,
Yep.
And look at it. They don't even talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
They don't even talk about it anymore. Like, they think you're dumb. They think you're just going to eat this shit up, be in fear, and do whatever the fuck they want to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They think you're stupid. They
100%.
think you're a stupid peasant. And I'm here to tell you that you're not. And you're a lot more powerful than you've ever been taught in your whole life.
Yeah, 100%.
And when you start getting into what Chris has been getting into, you become Super Saiyan. And if you don't know what that is, go watch Dragon Ball Z. Do yourself a favor. Jesus says if you're gonna get into heaven, you gotta be like a child, a small child.
Yeah.
So don't forget that. Like, to me, that's like, don't forget to live, have fun, enjoy things. Like, don't be so serious all the time. It ain't supposed to be like that. And I have an issue with that.
I have a big issue with that.
Like, I always have to tell myself to like take a step back and chill. Because
my God, if my wife was sitting in here right now, she'd be like, "Hey, you gonna take some advice?" You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what
we're all doing the best we can at the end of the day.
I mean, dude, I tell you, I was up till 3:30. And then I was up again at 7. I think I got 2 hours and 20 minutes of sleep last night just to be able to get everything to where it is right now.
We did a great job.
It's so much work. Everything is so much work. And I think that's where I get lost because I'm just always doing something. And I never feel like I have that time to relax. I mean, even today I was like, I'm not going to do any projects, but she's kind of due for an oil change. So I got to do an oil change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to keep things going. You have to keep doing your thing. I'm not going to put them out on the spot, but I tell you, there's someone I know, and I was like, did you get that done? Nah, I was too tired. I didn't do anything all day today.
It's exhausting.
How did you get that? How did you do that?
Doing nothing is exhausting.
I was like, how did you get that? How do you just shut down for a day? If I shut down for a day, I'm 2 days behind.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I just wanted to kind of touch on that. I love the knowledge that you have, and it helps clarify some things for me. I just find all of this religious thing to be very confusing, and I think like language was meant to cause confusion.
Yep.
I believe the different religions and all of the confusion between the dates and the books, and it's all by design. It's all by design.
Well,
it's meant to keep
they
you
want
confused.
us focused on the differences. If we focus on the similarities, that should bring us together.
Right.
Now, and yeah, I know I sound kind of like a Mason saying that, but like when you look at Islam and then you stack it up next to Christianity and you read through the Quran, it's the same characters, they just have different, like the names are different. Like Abraham is Ibrahim.
Yes.
You know, I forget what they called Moses, but like instead of Jesus they call him Isa, but it's the same guy. They don't see him the same way that I do, but that's okay. I don't have,
but you're right.
You know, I don't hate them for that. You know,
hopefully
they come around, but
the focus is always on the different.
Right.
The focus is never on the similarities.
Right. And when it's like, look at all this stuff with like how they divide people with politics. Like, you know, they say, oh, you can't have conversations at the dinner table about these things. Well, you can if you focus on the similarities. If you look at how we're the same, it's like, hey, do you like chocolate?
Yeah.
Me too.
Nice.
That's awesome. Let's be friends. High five. You know?
Right.
And then we high five. Like, that's cool. Hey, do you like jujitsu?
I love
Me
jiu-jitsu.
too. Oh my God. Did we just become best friends?
We did.
Do you want to go roll in the garage?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm not talking, anyways. But it'd be like that. If you just like I have friends where politically we're such polar opposites, but these are my homies. It's like, oh, like I may not agree with you about abortion or whatever, but hey, like, do you like metal? Like, of course, I love metal. Like, I love music. Oh, do you like going to concerts? Yeah, let's go to the concert and just not talk about things we disagree on. It's like you have your beliefs, I have mine, but this is where we come together. And when we come together, we have a great freaking time.
Yes.
I'm trying not to cuss. I know I'm wearing a shirt with Jesus and I said I'm a follower, but I am still a sinner. So just, you know. Chill.
On this channel, dude, you can swear all you want.
Doing my best, you know.
I do it in the first 10 minutes, and you're not allowed to. Fuck them.
I'm sure I'm gonna do it again.
I don't care anymore.
Just saying.
So let's get into the first clip that you brought in here. Let me see if I can do this real quick. No.
If I can say, if you're really struggling with like, is this Christianity stuff real, whatever, like, to me, the best case for it all, including the Bible in general, even though it's been like translated so many different times, whatever, like, if you look into the occult and realize what that's about and how it works, it just makes the greatest case for the Bible and the teachings of Jesus,
right,
and salvation itself. Like, it made me understand it so much more, and it just became that much more real to me.
All right, so we're gonna get into the first video that you brought in here, and let's see, corrupted elite genocidal monist.
I just want to say before you hit play on that, a lot of these videos that I find like this and send to you sometimes, just for the audience, take it with a grain of salt. Do your own research. You know, just because somebody's saying whatever about the occult and they may be right about that doesn't mean they're right about what they have to say about Christianity afterwards.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's okay. People need to always have their discernment cap on and do their own research. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Absolutely. So. And I always put the links in the description of this video, of all my videos, because of that reason. Everybody should be doing their own research. Just because we have come to our conclusions or they've come to their conclusions doesn't mean that that's the final conclusion.
Right.
You do your research, and if you know what, if you know something we don't, or you heard something that was out of context and you want to add to it, that's what the comment section's for, everybody. Yeah. That's where you get your voice heard if you want it to be heard. I won't read them. No, I'm just kidding. I read them all.
And if you are going to leave a comment, try not to be a dick.
Yeah, well, I actually, right after this video, we'll get into this right now real quick, and then I'll touch back on a comment I had. It was fun.
I always like to say, if you're going to leave a comment, don't say anything online that you're not comfortable saying to someone's face.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Just be yourself.
Get into the occult. I'm going to share with you a little bit of hidden knowledge that you will not find in the mainstream. So what is Kabbalah, and how is it linked to Israel's actions today? So this might be one of my most important videos, and I want it to be out there even if it gets no reach in the case of my untimely death. Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism, the esoteric branch of Judaism that seeks to understand the nature of God. Many of you might be surprised to learn I've had a lifelong interest in the occult and the esoteric, whether it's hermeticism, Kabbalah, Gnosticism, Crowley, the list goes on. It's why I majored in religious studies and why I became a Freemason. I've always had a thirst for knowledge and understanding. But it should be said, most importantly, I try to be a good person. The Zohar is the foundational text of Kabbalah, and it emerged in 13th century Spain. You may have heard of or seen this image of the Tree of Life. But in Kabbalah, we have dualism. So where you find the Tree of Life, you also have Sitra Achra, which is the other side. Sitra Achra represents evil, impurity, and separation from God. It's here that we find the Tree of Death, which you may not have heard of. With the Tree of Life, we have the Sephirot. With the Tree of Death, we have the Klippot, or the shadow side. So God created Adam Haman, the primordial man, or the first divine manifestation of light. But they don't believe that Adam's first wife was Eve. They believe his first wife was Lilith, whose origin is believed to be in ancient Babylon. So Lilith rejects Adam because she is made from...
That's not in the Bible?
The Lilith thing is not in the Bible. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just...
Interesting.
Like, if it is true, it's because they don't want you to know about that, because it gets into the inner workings of the spirit world. But it could also be nonsense. That's where I say, I don't know, but let's keep watching.
Wow.
The same essence as him, spiritually, the Shekhinah. So they believe that all Gentile women have the spiritual essence of Lilith, which is also why Judaism is matrimonial. It can only be passed down through the woman. If a Jewish man has sex with a Gentile woman, that child is not considered Jewish. That's true. We Gentiles are created from Sitra Achra, aka Lilith, whereas Jews are created from Sitra de Chedusha, the side of divine holiness and goodness. And the Sitra Achra, aka us, must exist for the world to fall so that it can be saved, and it will be saved by everyone submitting to the nation of Israel. This is what they believe, okay? Let's move on. The Star of David is not biblical, and it's not from any of the original Jewish scriptures. Correct. It actually emerged...
Right. Yeah.
Correct.
It's a
that
magic
symbol means
it's-
as above, so below, and I'll get into that when we're done with this video.
In the 13th century as a European Jewish symbol. In ancient times, it was actually used as Mesopotamian and pagan artwork, and it only emerged as a Jewish symbol in the 13th century with the medieval Kabbalistic text. So why does Israel use that symbol on their flag? My theory is that all the Israeli elite are Kabbalists. The Star of David actually comes from the Solomonic seal, which you've probably seen, where God is actually a power to be wielded, not worshipped, but wielded, a power that is used to control the demonic, like Solomon used to control Ashmedai, the demon king. So I believe the flag is a symbol.
Was it?
Yeah. That's also not in the Bible, but there is a ton of other literature that talks about that.
Really?
Yes. I mean, I'm sure if I went back and read certain things in the Bible, there might be things that allude to that, but it doesn't like specifically state that. But there are a lot of other books that are very ancient that talk about that stuff, and a lot of like old Freemasonic texts talk about King Solomon being able to wield that power with a ring that he was given by the Archangel Saint Michael.
Really?
And the Masons are supposed to be the ones who kept the most accurate details of history. So take that for what you will. I'm not saying that's true or not. I'm saying do your own research. And I have that book, The History of Freemasonry.
Really?
There's this thing in there called the Anderson legend that kind of gets into what he was talking about with the whole Adam and Eve thing, and how God taught Adam the 7 sacred sciences in the Garden of Eden, and then he was supposedly taught it to Cain, and so on and so forth. But we'll get into that later.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that stuff's true. It's just, that's what I read.
To control us, the Sitra Achra, the demonic. So Israel is justified through these views that whoever dies, whether it's children or animals, you name it, it's for the greater good. It's actually a good thing that it's happening. This entire belief system justifies their supremacy, and if you look into it deep enough, Epstein's beliefs mirrored the same thing. It even makes me wonder about many American politicians and the rituals they take part in places like Bohemian Grove. And yes, it is possible in some rare cases to convert as a Gentile, but you have to prove you have Nefesh HaElokit, aka God's soul. But what are you willing to do to the world on the other side?
And that gets into you have to know darkness to get to light, and that's bullshit. That's not true. You don't have to go do evil things to, get to the polar opposite side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, of course not.
That's ridiculous, but that's what they believe in.
Well, I mean, don't you feel like that's what everybody believes in? Because
more or less,
think about what's been going on, right? And what we have found out in the last year of these Epstein files coming out.
Oh God.
So
even worse than I thought.
Everything that they told us to be, they were the complete and polar opposites of what model citizens were supposed to look like, while they are just doing the worst of the worst. So I feel like almost all of them are off the fucking rails, and they're just saying what we should be doing while they're just doing the complete opposite right behind our backs. And at the same time, they're telling us to work, pay taxes so they can just keep partying on.
Yep.
That's all they're doing. They're just partying. They don't give a fuck about anything.
Nope.
Our roads are shit. Nothing's being taken care of. We're going to pay for a fucking ballroom we don't want. I mean, it's just fucking dumb. The whole thing's dumb. Never mind the $1.776 trillion fucking funds for the people that stormed the Capitol.
They love using that 1776 figure.
Yes, they do.
Which
I don't know if many people caught that, but I did.
When you start seeing numbers like that, we call those repeating patterns, by
yes.
the way. If you're in the noticing community, like my Lord and Savior, he was the original noticer. It has to do with numerology. I don't know what the numerology behind 1776 is, other than the fact that the last time I was on your show, I said that might have been the start of the little season.
Right.
AKA when they let the devil out, because it would appear that way, which I could be wrong about, but
it seems there's a reason why he picked that number. You know what I mean? They keep calling it 1.8 on the news and in the articles, but it was 1.776, and it was It was 1.776 for a reason.
And when they gave the troops that raise this past year, it was, or the bonus rather, it was $1,776.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because like money is a form of currency. When you
Right.
think of currency or current, you think of electricity or ether.
Yeah.
I know I'm playing around with words and etymology and stuff, but like when they do things like that, they're casting a spell.
It means something.
They're casting a spell. And when you accept that stuff, you're like letting that spell affect you per se. So,
well, that's the rules.
and
that
Trump is a magician.
Yes.
I voted for him twice, well, 3 times if you really want to go there.
Yeah.
But, he has a statue of
Twice
Apollo
for me.
on top of Trump Tower in New York.
He has a what?
A statue of Apollo.
Apollo.
The Greek entity.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's interesting in Revelation, they talk about, something to do with the end times and like the bringing of Apollyon or something. A little too, the spelling's a little too close for my comfort. But, as much as I try to support our president, and people need to still hold his feet to the fire, and especially about this particular thing.
Yes.
I understand people are mad at him. That's totally fine. Like, you have every right to express how you feel about him, but I don't think it's really for the right reasons. I think this is a big reason to be upset with. Like, you can't be going around saying, I love God and Jesus, this and that, but you have a giant statue of Apollo on your building in New York. It's awfully symbolic of other things.
Well, he wasn't very godly until he got voted in.
Right. Which, people will change however they are.
However they need to.
Meet
right.
the needs and wants of their constituents.
Because he wasn't until he got voted in, and then all of a sudden it started coming out more and more and more.
Like he had to play a role on
Yeah.
Or at least it would appear that way.
They all fucking play a role, dude. It doesn't, that's why I get so frustrated, because I just feel like it's not that I'm throwing my vote away. It's literally, it's a fucking coin flip, dude.
Well, as the Masons, I think it was the Masons, at least Albert Pike said something along these lines. It was like, if the people need a hero, we will provide one. If they need a villain, we will provide one. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's like, and everything seems to play out like a script almost.
So real quick before I go into something else, you were going to say the symbol of the Star of David, as above, so below. Elaborate on that.
What does that mean?
Quick.
So as above, so below is an axiom for the second principle of hermeticism, which is, it's as above, so below. So as above, so below, as within, so without. What does that mean? I'll tell you what I think it means.
All right.
I read this book called the Kybalion. It's written by the three initiates, or as I believe it's William Walker Atkinson, who was an occultist. This stuff's not like Christian, but it's important to understand because the billionaires believe in this stuff.
Yeah.
And it actually, like, when I learned about it myself years ago, and I mean like 6 years ago, I saw how real it is. So let's start from the top. There's 7 principles of hermeticism. The first principle is the principle of mentalism. Then you have the principle of correspondence, which is as above, so below. Then you have the principle of vibration, the principle of polarity, the principle of rhythm, the principle of cause and effect, and the principle of gender. I'm going to explain each one of these, and yes, I'm reading it off my phone. The principle of mentalism is the all is mind, the universe is mental. The principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as below, so above. This principle embodies the truth that there is always a correspondence between the laws and phenomena of the various planes of being and life. Now, what does that mean? That means there's 3 planes of existence: material, mental, also known as psychic, and spirit. 3D, 4D, 5D. Macrocosm, microcosm, and then what the medium that's in between. A way for it to travel, almost. So, like, think about it with mentalism, right? Everything starts in your mind. Even down to, like, you wake up and you think, I got to go to the bathroom. Then you get up and you go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Starts in your mind, happens in reality. Sounds simple with that one analogy, but this is what the occultist believes. This gets into manifestation. So the whole thing with the principle of correspondence, it kind of gives you a picture of how this like your little universe works, where you're tethered to like you in the spirit world almost, and there's that thought medium in between. So when you think things, it's like it goes up the chain into the spirit world where you also are. Like this world is basically a reflection of the material world is a reflection of the spirit world, according to these texts. So, like, you and me are sitting here right now, here on Earth, or as the Kabbalists call it, Malkuth, that bottom sphere on the tree of life.
Yep.
We're here sitting, but we're also probably sitting across from each other in the spirit world, having this same conversation at some frequency that is unfathomable. And this is what this has. You can get into 9/11 with all this stuff too, because when they took down the Twin Towers are kind of a symbol for Gemini. And if you watch this episode of Tinfoil Hat with Christopher Knowles, he talks about the constellation of Gemini being Heaven's Gate, because in Freemasonry, you have the two pillars, Jachin and Boaz, as like a gateway to somewhere. It's like they open the gateway with that as above, so below stuff. So to make things happen up there, sometimes you got to do stuff down here during certain astrological times and events. And it makes things happen up there. So you make the thing happen up there. So then it comes back down here and manifests itself another crazy way based on the intention and will of the magician.
Holy shit.
Man trying to be God.
What?
I haven't even gotten into the third principle yet, which is how it all ties together. Let's move to the third principle.
Okay.
The third principle is the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. You ever heard people say, "Oh, you attract what you want"?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Be careful with that, because like if you're a negative Nancy person, whatever, and you hate your life, you're like it's like you're in hell, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna stub your toe everywhere you walk. You may get in your car. You're stuck in traffic. You're like, oh, this traffic sucks, and when you're not really seeing the good that it could be, you're just like constantly attracting negative things, and then all these things start to happen to you because that's what you're attracting.
That's the energy you're bringing in,
right? Now on the opposite side, when you focus on the positivity, as silly as that sounds, because some people just don't want to hear that, just be positive. Man, it's like, shut up, dude. I'm going through it. It's like, yeah, we know. Now think positively, as silly as that sounds, and good things will start to happen to you.
No, I believe this to all be true. When I'm in a bad mood and I'm having a bad time, I feel like nothing but bad things happen.
When you feel that way, your body radiates this electromagnetic stuff, and it attracts this other electromagnetic stuff to you like a magnet. So if it's on the negative side, you're pulling this negative energy in. On the positive side, you start pulling in all this. Like I started doing the positivity thing, and then people started calling me, asking how I'm doing. Like, people haven't heard from me in forever. And then we'd have conversations, and then they would say something profound to me, and I'd be like, wow, I really needed to hear that today. That was like that. When someone calls you out of the blue and it sets you on a whole nother trajectory that you needed to get onto. Like, it's
amazing.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally believe in this because I've felt both ends of it.
But what people don't understand is you can't just like think you can go radiate these things and it's just going to make you rich, because a lot of people, they just use this for money. But like for example, I was married one time before, right? Mm-hmm. Before I got married to my wife now. And when I was going through that divorce, I was very negative. A lot of negative things were happening to me. And when I told myself finally just turn on the positivity, like things started to get better. And what I mean by that is I started to like right around that time is like me and you started to become really good friends. And like, that's another way that principle of vibration works, is it brings people and resources into your life so you can create the life that you want to experience, hopefully a life of joy and love.
Yeah.
So anyways, moving on, we have the principle of polarity, which is everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. Think of temperature. Hot and cold.
Yep.
Degrees, right? Think of everything in degrees.
Okay.
Like life and death, frozen, unfrozen, the 33 degrees is when water melts.
Right.
So that's like a metaphor for like in the Scottish Rite, right? You get to this sublime, 33rd degree of the Scottish Rite. It's like this supposed to be this level of consciousness, and you think of the water melting. It's like you rising in the temperature, and I don't know, that's what they believe in. But yeah, everything has like. My mind is like wants to say all these things, and I'm trying to put it into coherent words. But like, when it comes to polarity, like, even think of Democrats and Republicans.
Okay, yeah.
Right now, both those two parties, they're on extremes.
Oh, yes.
But when the extremes meet and you focus on those similarities, the paradox is reconciled.
Right.
So like same thing with temperature. It goes back to what I was saying about focusing on the similarities, or like looking at things through a different perspective, right? Like you could be like, oh, this really sucks right now. Like my life, blah, 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 blah. But it's like when you change the polarity of that, you change your mindset to like, what is this trying to teach me?
Right.
Instead of I hate my life, this sucks. It's like, well, this could be trying to teach me something. And now you're turning it into something, instead of being at, in the cold part of the temperature scale, now you're warming up. Now you're getting that fire. Now you're like, I'm ready. Like I can get through what I need to get through. That's how I like to explain polarity.
Nice.
Moving on, we have the principle of rhythm, which says everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. What does that mean? Ebbs and flows, man. Tides. Life has its ups and downs. Everything, just because you're going through a rough time doesn't mean if you're going through a rough time, that just means you got a good time coming.
Well, you need to go through tough times to realize what the good times are.
Makes you appreciate them too.
And no, you can't pray away the bad times. You have to get through the bad times.
It's a good place to start.
It is,
but then you got to put the work in.
You do have to put the work in.
A lot of people don't get that.
You're gonna get through it, and then you're gonna see what is in front of it, which is the good shit.
Yeah.
No matter what's going on, you can't pray for richness. You can't pray for love. You can't pray. Well,
you can.
Well, no, you didn't pray for love. You prayed for a specific type of woman that you would hope you would fall in love with, and you did. Right. So, yeah, you did not pray or receive love from prayer. Well, I don't think. You think?
You got to be careful what you pray for.
Yes,
so
that I do believe.
A long time ago, I prayed for wisdom and understanding, not realizing that in order to get that, I would be broken and humbled, and I would get the wisdom of and understanding of my experiences.
That's fair.
And that's where I'm just like, I see how that works.
You know what I mean? But like, I believe that a lot of people out there today are just like, they're trying to get rich quicker.
That's it. It's that instant gratification. They think, oh, I pray it's going to happen right away. Well, if you go back to what I said earlier, it happens in his timing. It's seldom early, but it's never late.
So, yeah, and it's just, you got to put the work in. You'll see the light on the other side when you put the work in, because that's what brings it out.
And when it came to meeting my wife, I had to put the work in. I had to go in to get out. I had to, I went to counseling. I talked to a shrink to help get myself through everything. I tried to make better habits for myself. That's doing the work, trying to make yourself like the better person, so that way you're ready to meet that person.
That's also the hardest thing to do.
It is.
It really is.
Everybody wants it right away.
Everybody wants everything right away. And I hate that so much, because that's the devil right there.
100%.
That's the fucking devil.
100%.
Now, real quick, I'm going to kind of digress a little bit here,
sure.
real quick, before you get into the next couple. But
we're almost done with the subject.
Tides.
Yeah. Very
curious. They always go in and out.
Yeah.
Except for the landlocked ones. Why?
What do you mean by that?
There's parts of waters, right, that are landlocked.
Oh, right.
That never go in and out with tides.
Well, maybe not the way you think, but like if you ever go to a lake, and the wind blows,
and
the water moves,
and
and sometimes it moves the other way.
Yeah. That's
currents. It all depends.
It was an interesting thing that I was talking about with the electrician, and he got deep in the tides, and it was just interesting that everything else seems to be like the earth is breathing in a sense.
Oh, it's alive.
But landlocked waters don't really go in and out like the oceans do. And he was trying to explain it to me. I haven't really gone down the tide side, but I just found it to be interesting. And I want to kind of throw it out there if anybody wants to look into it. But yeah, not all bodies of water go in and out.
True. That is true.
With the power of the moon, let's say. You see
where you see? I see where you're going with that. Yeah.
So
Okay.
so I didn't want to leave that part out, but I had to put it in at the end. But yeah, so let's we don't need
I'd
to
have
go
to do some more research on that.
Exactly.
That's very interesting.
It's very
I don't,
interesting.
like,
I'm not going to say I wasn't fucking completely intrigued because I was, which is why I brought it up. But I just wanted to see if you heard anything about that.
No, I've never even thought of anything like that.
So, just fun.
Definitely something I want to look into.
Just fun.
Though.
You know what I mean? So let's get back into
rabbit hole.
this. Yeah, because this is great.
See, but the whole rhythm compensates thing, before I go to the next one, like, think of it this way. If you're trying to ride that pendulum, right, and you want to, like, you're really trying to get to a successful point in your life, and you're putting in the work, and you're pushing that envelope or the pendulum a little further to the left, right? Then you grab onto it because it's about to swing the other way, and it goes further than it was
The other
before.
way. Yeah.
And the whole thing with the principle of rhythm and polarity, when you tie it together, is how do I stay on the higher side of that pendulum swing, even when it goes to the other side?
Yeah, dude.
That's what it's about.
And that is where a lot of people can't get.
Right. And that was the point I was trying to get to.
And I think for people, me and you, just per se, I have to say that jiu-jitsu has helped me get
to
that level on the other side every time.
Yeah.
Every time in the last 9 years, like the mental state that you have to get on the mats and go 100% with people, you take that home with you all the time. And all you have to do is access it when you're in those bad times. And it helps. The discipline and that's where everybody fails. They have a very, very large lack of discipline. And bad habits, easy things to fall into, comfort zones that they don't want to get out of. And that's where, when they go to the other side, they can't handle it. You have to be able to let go of all of that. You have to be able to understand the good in the bad to get through it, I believe. And I've been doing it for 9 years. You know what I mean? It's a constant, endless back and forth. And you're right. That rhythm, that swing back into the bad. I never thought of it as that swing to the front where the good is, that you're going to equally swing as far back as you went forward.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's going to be more pressure.
Isn't that cool?
Now that makes way more sense to me. I still don't like that.
I mean, yeah.
But I'm like, that makes total and absolute sense in my brain.
You know, it's interesting because you bring up jiu-jitsu. It's like, if you ever look at the belt colors, they kind of, until you get to brown, I mean, it's still climbing that electromagnetic spectrum of light. Like blue to purple, I think, is like, if you want to break it down to like consciousness, right? When you're a blue belt, you're trying to figure it. It's like you're at the buffet. You're trying to come up with your own game. You're figuring it out. You know, you can say words, you know, as opposed to just putting syllables together. You know, maybe you can make a sentence or two in the story.
Right.
And then you get to purple, and it's like, now you're saying paragraphs and phrases and like all this cool stuff. And it's like the light bulb gets turned on.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Or you've reached that another higher level of consciousness, or you climb the chakra ladder, which, you know, however you feel about those. I mean, I think those are real, but, you know, should be studied more. Energy centers in our body.
Yeah.
But,
no, I believe that. Yeah.
But anyways, moving on.
Yeah, let's do it.
The principle of cause and effect. This is a big one. I think this is probably one of the most important of all 7 of them. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. There's no such thing as coincidence, man.
No, that is 100% true.
Coincidence is
100%.
bullshit. Now, these are
Yes.
cosmic laws. This is the inner workings. This is like how the universe or where we live works.
Right.
Or at least it's supposed to.
Supposed to.
You know, according to the occultist. I got to put that out there. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's no such thing as coincidence. Like, there is a cause and effect in everything. Like, cause and effect is what led us to getting here.
Yes.
You know, like, and if you can break down every cause and effect to getting here, it would take you forever and you'll lose your mind doing it. But like that explains everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
There is no coincidence.
No,
It's just cause and effect.
Definitely not.
So
No.
moving on to the last one, the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. Now, it's interesting we get into that, especially because we're in the month of June right now. Everybody doesn't know what freaking gender they want to be and all that other stuff. That whole thing, by the way, with the transgenderism stuff, that comes from the Baphomet, the goat with the bobs, as Isaac Weishaupt says in his podcast, Occult Symbolism and Pop Culture. It's that thing with the solvent coagula on its arm. It's the merging of opposites. It's the union of opposing forces. Don't think of it as male and female, like man and woman. Yes and no. It's the energies. It's the positive and negative on the in electricity. That's not saying women are negative and men are positive. Oh, he's misogynistic. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's the principles. Like, you have masculine and feminine principles about you. Every human being does.
Well,
every woman has.
I'm half my mom, half my dad, so
Right.
it makes sense.
But like, every man has a feminine side.
Yes.
And when you're just focusing on the masculine, the don't be a pussy, you're leaving that humanity part out of you. You're not balanced. The principle of gender is about balance.
Yes.
It's yin and yang. Okay, it's one way to think about it.
I love
like,
that.
and when you have too much of one, the other one, it has to be balanced. It's kind of like, think of it. Here's an example. If you have too much capitalism without a little bit of socialism, you get fascism.
Yeah.
If you have too much socialism without a little bit of capitalism, you get communism.
Yep.
You don't want the extremes. You want the extremes to meet and have the paradox reconciled.
Yes.
You have to be balanced. That's why when I married my wife, I felt like I was in a state of harmony for the first time in my life. And that's what it's about. It's about getting into harmony and harmonization and just being balanced. It's not about male or female. I mean, it is, but not in the sense that, like, everybody wants you to think,
but that's
which causes
the thing.
Division.
They want you to think that way.
They want you
to think that way. That's why you guys are all thinking that way.
And that way you can't focus on what I'm trying to say, which is really just about bringing you together, people together.
Right.
Like, you know, women too. Like, you got to have the slight bit of the masculinity factor. Otherwise, you turn into a crazy bitch.
Yeah.
Same thing with men. It's the same thing with men. Like,
yes.
If you don't have it balanced, man, you turn into a crazy bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's universal as far as I'm concerned.
100%.
So, like,
100%.
That's the point I'm trying to make with the last one. It's all about balance.
It's all about balance.
It's not about male and female. The dark side of the force, if you will, they will try to make it into this big sexual thing.
Right.
And that's
they already are
designed to bring your frequency down and put you in a state of hell.
Yes. And drain your energy.
And if the inside of your heart is hell, the outside, like what you're experiencing is going to be hell. That's the as above, so below, as within, so without.
Yes. Yes.
If you have positivity in your heart and you're seeing things through that lens, then you will project that positivity and goodness. And
100%.
Other people will see that and they will be attracted to that. Like, iron sharpens iron. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
So
iron always sharpens iron, dude. That's one of my, I love that.
Those are the 7 principles of hermeticism. They're not in the Bible. You can see like parallels of that stuff in the Bible and whatnot. And I encourage, you know, anyone listening to try to do that. Always, you know, and if you're going to go read the Kybalion and any of these occult texts, please put your discernment cap on, pray about it, you know, because when I first started reading this stuff, like I got this one book called The Lesser Key of Solomon, and it's a grimoire. It's about summoning demons.
Oh, okay.
And like how to do it. I'm like, I was like, oh, this is how they do that stuff, right? But after I was reading that book, I felt like I was being watched in my house for the longest time. So I found a cross, like a necklace, and I would wrap it around that book.
Really?
Stop feeling like I was being watched after that. Now, it could be in my head, but I think there's a lot more to that because I've had some weird experiences just like looking into this stuff and trying to study it. Like one time,
I don't know, man.
I was FaceTiming my in-laws with my wife, and something like tried to shake my house, like the door, like the doorway. The door was shaking. It looked like someone like had the handle and was like trying to get in, and it made the whole house shake. And I went out, and like my in-laws heard and saw it on the phone. So like I'm not losing my mind here. I go outside. There's nothing there. I mean, I ran and grabbed my gun real quick because I was like, yo, it's on. And
right.
I ran out there, and there's nothing there. And by the time I got out there, if there was someone there, I would have seen them running up or down my street. Whoa. And I went around my house, made sure everything was okay. Like, it was weird. And then there was other times where I'm like outside looking up at the stars, thinking whatever, and then I see these crazy lights and like weird shooting star things. They're like green. Yeah. Someone tried saying, "Oh, you saw some transformer electrical box thing blow up down the road," which, like, I'm like, no.
You ever seen a transformer blow up?
It's pretty impressive.
It's definitely a big giant explosion,
and it is similar to what I saw.
Is it?
Yeah, it was a big green. Depending on the metal that they use, sometimes metals burn certain colors. So, like, yeah, that's I can see where someone could say,
really?
It's not what you thought you saw. Like, there's been times I've thought I've seen like entities or whatever, and I have to like do a look around, like, is this like light reflecting off something before I go crazy and say that I'm seeing things that I'm not. One time, I went to my friend's wedding in upstate New York in the Finger Lakes region. I brought my dog Penny with me because she was in heat, so we couldn't like board her, which sucked. But we brought her with. I was walking her along the river, and or the lake, whatever. And there was I have a video of it I could show you later. This like ball of light. It's like moving across the river, or lake, whatever. And down like the lake, you could hear the geese and stuff like my. The light ball got close to them, and they all shut up. And my dog Penny was obsessed with whatever that thing was. Whoa. She didn't growl at it though. One time she growled at something in my yard that I couldn't see, and then my wife ran out. So she's like, "Get in the house! I feel it too." And I was like, "Oh shoot!" But that time back at the lake, I have that on video. I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
Remind me. And it was just so profound. It was like there was a stillness as it was moving.
That's wild.
Around. I don't know what it was, but it was definitely not of this earth.
Holy shit, dude.
So yeah, I've seen, and to the rest of you listening, like, you've probably seen some crazy stuff too, and you let the medical industry and mainstream media put you in a box. So stop doing that.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yes, I agree with that 100% as well. So I got something for you here that I figured you would enjoy, and hopefully everybody else will too. I thought this was very interesting last night, and then I want to get that volume up.
Oh, Sam Tripoli?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard the theory that President Lincoln was assassinated by the Rothschilds?
Oh, yeah.
The Rothschilds, they were basically sold the Confederate banknotes in Europe, so they're supporting the Confederates.
No way.
And because Abraham Lincoln wanted to get rid of the European banking system and make it the U.S. banking system.
The craziest thing about the Civil War that nobody ever talks about was Russia's role in the Civil War. And what happened was that the Russians had just kicked the Rothschilds out, the banking cabal out, and they had heard that, basically they were trying to do the same thing in America. And Alexander, I think it was, actually sent Russian Navy to our borders. And you can actually see pictures of Russian troops with northern troops as well. So, and that's a big reason, because Spain and France and Britain were about to come in on the side of the South.
I mean, this is adding up to the Rothschild banking system.
And some history that will never be told to you.
Don't learn that in elementary school.
Not a chance. That's why.
Yeah,
all history is a lie.
Yeah, I mean, it's written by the winners, right?
It's written by the winners, and it's there to basically form a group agreement that these people are the good guys and these people are the bad guys, and that's just how it's been done. And when everyone goes, dude, is everything a conspiracy? 100%.
Hey,
yeah, my Robert Maxwell sponsored textbook in secondary school did not cover that.
Right?
For those of you who don't know, Robert Maxwell is the father of Ghislaine Maxwell, the madam of Jeffrey Epstein, and he was also like no shit a agent of Mossad. Like it's irrefutable. Like you can't be no, shut up. It is fact. He was a Mossad agent, and he is responsible for all the textbooks we had in elementary, like middle and high school.
Yeah,
he is the one behind that. He said what we're going to learn about or not, or rather, Israel said what we're going to learn about and not, which makes you wonder about some other things. Maybe we'll get into that later. Who knows?
It just.
I don't think it was 6 million.
No,
maybe 300,000. Even then, I'm still inflating that number.
Dude.
For entertainment purposes only. Chill out.
But I mean, it's crazy because I didn't really hear about the Russians hanging out and coming down.
We make them the bad guys and everything.
But there was a moment in time where we were working together. So the fact that there was differences that separated us, well, isn't that probably all by design? Somebody doing something to cause the ripples, and it just blows.
Are you trying to tell me that old school
dude.
Christian monarchy Russia might have been the good guys? Those white Christian nationalists from Russia might have been the good guys? Oh my God.
I mean,
that's crazy.
It's so crazy, right? I mean,
who could fathom?
And it's like it falls.
Must be conspiracy theory,
right? But it falls into the same thing that I keep listening to over and over again about World War II, and you're just like, it doesn't sound bad anymore.
No,
and you're just like, and then you find out we're hanging out with Russians, and you're like, well, what happened there? When did we? What happened?
I thought they were the bad guys.
I thought they were terrible people, always terrible people. Well, no, they weren't. We were allies at one point.
Oh yeah.
So why did that get missed? You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
you know,
it's crazy to me.
After all, like later on down the timeline, if we are following this timeline, right? That's what that's the 1800s.
I believe so.
You get into like right before World War I, you needed the Bolsheviks. They had to come in and turn Russia into a communist state. The whole point was to get rid of the monarchy and bring communism in.
Yeah, yeah, it's all by design, everybody.
And the people pushing the communism are a bunch of gay atheists.
Oh wow!
I mean, like, no, I mean, maybe not all of them, but like, and I'm not. And if you're a gay atheist, that's cool. Live your life. Like, I know I'm not throwing shade at you for that, but like, don't try to shape the world to how you think it should be when you're less than 1% of the population.
That's that. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
it's always less than 1% of the population that's trying to change.
It's
everything.
like with the trans in the bathrooms, man. Like there's not that many of them. We could have just like some of these, and like take Caitlyn Jenner for example. She's so rich, she could afford to have a porta potty rickshaw, as Bill Burr once said, following her around. She can have her own bathroom.
Yep.
Like but anyways, it's all a distraction.
Yes, and they like to keep us as distracted as possible, which is why they do that. Real quick though, I was I didn't pull the video, so that's my fault as a producer. But okay. I saw a Dan Blazarian video. Okay, yeah. So I think this is 326, so it was like 322 or 323. Where I said that
Skull and Bones, anybody?
Where I said in the podcast that the white race was being taken out, and
1,000%.
They want multi-race cultures because they're supposedly easier to control. And I said I thought it was extremely racist to say. I thought I was in the right. Somebody told me that I probably got put on a list, which was the comment.
We're all on a list.
He's like, I don't know what you're reading, but you probably just got yourself put on a list. Now, I listened to Dan Blazarian. No, I do not listen to all of his things. I don't agree with everything that he has going on as a politician, but there's a lot of shit that he's saying that would get my vote because he's against all the Zionism and is in taking us out of the Israel grasp.
Yeah,
I agree with him on that. But there was a little nugget of knowledge with that. And you know what? I don't think this not to be true. Most of the Jews, the Zionist Jews.
Yeah, before he goes on, not every Jew is a Zionist.
That's
and not
true.
Every Zionist is a Jew. It's a very important distinction that needs to be made.
But what we seem to be dealing with mostly today is Zionism, period. So I'll just categorize it as that.
Yes.
Political
Political Zionism.
Most of the people that are Zionists are, well, they look white.
It's because they are.
Right. So
they're not Sephardic Jews.
So
they're imports.
They're also part of the problem and why the white race is being attacked.
It's them.
Is because they're pretending to be 100% white, and they're not.
But they don't want to be 100% white. They also want to be this protected class of people.
Right.
I know this because I used to be, I don't want to say a victim, but like I was under that spell. I was under that spell. Like I'm a Jew on paper. I grew up, you know, like in a household where it's, my parents, you know, showed me the whole Jews for Jesus thing, which Jews in general, they're like, that doesn't make sense. Like they don't like Jesus, but we'll get into that later. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought.
That's okay. I just think it's very interesting.
Right. So these people, they think they're the chosen people. And like, I used to think that too. And then like, I learned that Jesus came to like get us away from that, which like back then they were sacrificing animals and stuff. And Jesus was like, no, we don't got to do that anymore. You can, but anyways, like, I hate when this happens.
It's okay.
They think they're the chosen people. They're not. The people who believe in Christ are the new chosen people. So like, but you still have this issue, and it's not really an issue. It's more of a situation. It's like you have this state of Israel. You have this country that exists now. Well, it can't go anywhere. It's been recognized by most of the world. Now, like, is there people trying to wipe it off the face of the earth? I mean, the people that are political Zionists, they keep trying to instill this fear in everybody that says, oh, they just can't recognize our existence. They just want to kill. Well, if you talk to the Jews that were already living in that land before it became Israel, when it was Palestine, like they were living in peace with the people there. There wasn't it was completely fun. It was love thy neighbor everywhere in that land, in that strip, that size of land that's smaller than New Jersey. Everybody got along.
Yep.
The Christians, the Jews, the Muslims, everybody was chilling. Like, you know what I mean?
And then the Zionists came in.
These people come in and they start, you know, cooking with gas, literally, and they start meddling and everything. Right. Everything was fine before this happened. But what's the point of this happening? The point is to usher in the end times and speed everything up through this belief system called accelerationism.
Right. And that's where I made the connection where I was
red
like,
heifers and stuff come in and all that.
Yeah, well, the red heifer was an interesting thing that we all talked about at one point. But
like they want to build the third temple so they can summon the Antichrist, which will summon Jesus Christ to come back, and it doesn't work like that. That's why they and Sam Tripoli said something recently on another episode where, like, maybe all these wars are to keep the world population down to a certain level, because if it was at a certain level, that could potentially bring the Lord back. I don't know. It was very interesting. I don't know much about that theory, but like it would make sense as to why all these wars keep happening, because like World War I took out like so many good men.
Yeah.
The same with World War II. Then you had Vietnam. It's just like every single time. It's like there's always has to be some kind of war where people are dying and we can't have a certain number of people on Earth. And everyone tries to say, oh, we don't have enough resources for all the bullshit. Yes, we do. There's plenty of oil. This country is sitting on the most oil in the whole world. And someone's going to come in the comments section and be like, yeah, that's not true. Guess what? I have inside information. I was in the military for 11 years. I have a lot of friends that are still in, and this isn't classified, by the way. There's more oil under our country than the Middle East. We don't need their oil. We don't need Venezuela's oil. We don't need any of their shit. We have our own, which makes you wonder why the gas price is so high. Because these corporations are greedy fucking assholes, and they want to fucking suck all the money they can from us, because right now they can. Yeah. Because there's something, I think there's something coming, because even Trump kind of said it like low key. Like he was like, yeah, like, you know, they're going to screw the people, basically. They're going to screw the people as much as they can right now. It's going to be bad, but then it's going to be good. I'm telling you, it's going to be good. Like, eventually, the prices are going to come down. They are, okay? Because we don't need Iran's oil. We don't need Venezuela's oil. It's just these people trying to get as much of our money as we can. And if we would just take our focus off that stuff and be like, hey, Exxon or Shell, or hey, fuck you. It's like, probably bring the prices down.
Probably.
There's more of us than there are of them.
Yeah, that's the other thing we all forget. There's way more of us than there are them. But so
sorry for rambling.
No. It's fine. I love that. I just want to cap it off real quick. So what I realized is that I realized that because at first I was like, why are they doing this? Like, why is this happening? Why is the white race being attacked and stuff like that? And come to find out that these Zionists are going out there portraying themselves, causing these issues, portraying themselves as fully white people,
causing all these wars,
all these problems, all these differences between the blacks and the browns and the whites.
Which creates the refugee problems in all these other places. And then you have all these people coming to these like European countries and then to America, and they refuse to assimilate to Western life, and it turns into a third world shit show.
And you're like, oh, that's why it's happening.
Exactly.
So I wasn't wrong.
No.
But I was.
And you're not racist.
I was a little off, but this is so much worse.
Yeah, it is.
I'm like, oh, I thought just white people were just being assholes and we were just being taken out. No, we're being portrayed by somebody else that's not what we are and making the problems for us. It's just like, fuck off,
when it comes to society too, like the whole perceived hate is more like people are more scared of the perceived hate than actually standing up for principles and for what's right. Like people are more scared of being called a racist and not having their friends anymore because they're under the spell than actually standing up for what's right. And that's bullshit. It's all conformity.
I disagree with that 1,000%.
If your friends want to be little bitches and have no spine, fuck, you need new friends.
Yes.
Like you once you get to a certain age, you can't keep living like that. It's okay to be liberal and whatever when you're young, okay, but eventually you got to grow the fuck up.
Yeah, I agree. But I just wanted to kind of touch on that because it was like I came to a realization that we were being impersonated.
No, they're trying to get rid of the white people.
It's so crazy to me.
The people who built the like.
And I
world.
hope I am on a list. Put me on a fucking list.
Hey, maybe
we'll
be in that FEMA camp together. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck yeah, let's do it. But I just thought that was interesting because I wasn't expecting like a sabotage type of mission going on behind that. And I was like, that makes way more sense too.
Yeah. I mean, think about it though. Like the Russians kicked the Jews, or they were called the Khazarians back then, out of that Ukraine area, that Turkey, Ukraine area. And it's if you think about it, like, it's almost like they're getting back at them and Jesus for what happened 2,000 years ago and during that period of time.
Interesting.
So it's like, I don't know.
They just have a lot of hate.
They want to get rid of Christianity is really what it comes down to.
Yes.
And the this is going to sound weird the way I say it, the white man, like they built those white Christian, whatever you want to call it, right? And now you have this, like, it would appear there's this group of people trying to import other groups of people into those areas to kind of get rid of that.
Yeah. So no, and if everybody doesn't believe them, go and check out Canada. They just made it illegal to read the Bible. That is 100% real. It is all going on. Canada's a fucking mess right now.
And what about that shit show going on in Ukraine? Not Ukraine, the UK, where that white kid got stabbed by the
and then
the brown guy.
He got put in the handcuffs, and he was told by the cop that
you're racist. No.
Like, you didn't get stabbed. He said.
He didn't get stabbed.
Let him fucking bleed out, dude.
And the guy who stabbed him was like, "Oh, he was being racist. That's why I stabbed him." But listen to me. I'm gonna make this one point. I don't give a flying fuck if someone says something racist or whatever to you. That doesn't give you the right to go hurt somebody.
No.
You know, they're just words. I understand how they make you feel. Like if someone goes and calls me a kike, yeah, I might get a little offended, but just who cares? Like obviously, like hurt people hurt people. Yes. Obviously this person's hurt. I just laugh at people. You want to call me that? Whatever. I mean, I know it's not true. Like,
but the craziest part of all of that was the officer being
dude,
not acknowledging that he was stabbed. He literally told him, "You're not stabbed."
Yeah.
What the fuck do you mean I'm not stabbed? If I tell you I'm stabbed, you're supposed to bring a fucking medic over,
there
asshole.
There needs to be more public outrage over
wow,
that
dude,
shit,
that was mind-blowing.
UK needs to turn up.
Ugh, it was terrible, dude. But yeah, Canada's under attack.
Canada's fucked.
It's fucked. It's fucked, dude. So sad. Let's check this
Might
one
as well
out.
be India.
You said that the Revolutionary War was a psychological operation and that the founding fathers are not who they were made out to be. Can you dive into that?
Here's the raw truth. The Revolutionary War was largely a controlled transfer of power, not the glorious fight for freedom we're taught. The real picture. Many of the founding fathers were high-level Freemasons,
Yep.
deeply connected to European secret societies.
Yeah.
Washington, Franklin, Jefferson, and others operated within the same occult and banking networks that controlled Europe. The war created the illusion of breaking away from the British Crown, while the financial control system remained firmly in the hands of the same families and institutions, especially the City of London banking houses. The war generated enormous debt. That debt became the mechanism to eventually bring the new independent nation back under financial control. The Constitution itself contains loopholes that were later exploited to turn the United States into a corporation in 1871. Citizens were gradually turned into corporate assets through birth certificates and later social security numbers, pledged as collateral to international bankers. The founding fathers weren't saints. Many of them were part of the same power structure they claimed to oppose. They understood ritual, symbolism, and energy. Washington, D.C.'s street layout is pure occult geometry. The
Really?
timing
I
of
can
the
show you that.
Declaration of Independence and the design of the Great
We'll do that
Seal
after this is
are
done.
loaded with esoteric meaning. The war was brilliant theater. It divided the population and created strong emotional loyalty to the new system. It wiped out much of the old power structure under the guise of independence. It allowed a new management layer to be installed with fresh branding, land of the free. The elite learned a valuable lesson. It's much easier to control people who believe they are free than people who know they're slaves. The Revolutionary War was the first major modern psyop that perfected this technique. This is why you see the same bloodlines and banking dynasties maintaining control for centuries, regardless of which side appears to win wars. The Revolutionary War was never about freedom from monarchy. It was about installing a more sophisticated system of control that used the language of liberty while keeping the same masters in charge. Ara out.
Yeah.
What the
Go to Google Maps.
fuck, dude? Whoa. That's wild. The Revolutionary War was fucking a psyop.
Yeah. Same with the Civil War, apparently.
Crazy.
Yeah, so if you go on, anyone of you can do this. If you go on Google Maps and you go to Washington, D.C., you'll see an inverted pentagram that connects to a square and compass. There's a lot of videos on, like, we could probably search for one on the Instagram thing to find, like, they'll actually draw it up. But yeah, zoom in. Actually, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an exact starting point. I want you to just go, zoom in on the White House. So click on, yep. Now zoom out. Go to the satellite. And yeah, the layers.
This one?
Right here. Get out of this window. Click on that.
Oh.
Yeah, just click on that one. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
Zoom out a little bit. Zoom out. Click on the White House real quick, just so we have a reference point. Now zoom out. More. Stop. Zoom in a little bit.
Holy shit.
There's your inverted pentagram. Now, hold on. Where's the Capitol building? Capitol Hill's right there. From here, there is a square and compass outline. It's hard to see the way I'm showing it right now, but just go on Instagram, look up square and compass inverted pentagram Washington D.C., and you'll see tons of videos that are considered conspiracy theories. I think we can find them on YouTube also. But the inverted pentagram, which the White House is at the very bottom tip. Yep, there we go. Thank you. Right there. I know it shows a diamond, but there's other streets where it's like a square and compass.
Holy shit.
Here it is. There's the angles, and it connects to the tip of the inverted pentagram.
Holy shit.
That is inverted sacred geometry.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. Sorcerers were
Wow.
the founding fathers.
I'm so glad I left my cameras the right way.
Yeah.
Everybody got to see that. Good,
Yeah.
good. I did something right as a
Anyone of you
producer.
can find this yourself. This isn't like some Photoshop bullshit. Like,
Wow. That's fucking wild,
It's
dude.
designed that way on purpose. Like, so if you want to call me crazy, I mean, it is crazy, and I am crazy. I used to jump out of airplanes. I guess I'm pretty crazy.
That's fucking wild. Wild shit.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Let's get into the next.
Dude. All right.
I love these videos. These are great.
Yeah, this guy's good.
Well, what were you saying yesterday about pirates? The pirates are the good guys? Yeah, the pirates have always been the good guys. Pirates of the heart. Pirates of the heart? Why are they always the bad guys in the movies? Misdirection? Programming? Most of the movies are funded by the Pentagon, Josh. Yeah, but why would they want to paint the pirates as the bad guys? Because the cat has tried to steal the heart of the peoples away from the papacy. The system that tried to harvest your heart energy.
Loosh.
As an ether currency, Josh.
Ether currency.
Ether currency?
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh. The heart is the treasure of the universe, the human heart. It resonates and it can create and manifest. But if it's kept down, if it's kept at a low hum, it can just be controlled, and then you see what you see. What do you mean it manifests? Movies are the hand job of the heart, Josh. It works your heart until it squirt, and then it uses the semen to create the world. The hand job of the heart? Yeah, most of the entertainment industry is there to show you murder, show you atrocities, and make the evil guy the hero, so that it can be like a gold digger. It take your semen and put it into whatever it wants to do. It wants to use you to manifest the world events. Because only when you believe it and when you are subconsciously attuned to a future that they want, that's what's happening. But if we could decide for ourselves what we want, if humanity could actually decide what we do and how we resonate and in what direction we want the world to go, we could do it easy. But we are constantly being redirected, misdirected into a place, a focal point of what the master jerker want to jerk. What does the master jerker want to jerk? He want to give birth to the Antichrist, Josh.
There it is.
The Antichrist, really? You believe in that? I believe in the Christ energy. Why not believe in the Antichrist? You believe in, like, you're religious? Christus, Christian, that is just a label. Christ energy is the resonance of the heart. The ability to use your body and your heart to resonate, to affect the rest of the world to a frequency, to a resonance that is beneficial to humanity. That's all it is. It's very simple. But you don't go to church? Community is beautiful, Josh, but my body is my church, my kingdom. My heart
temple
is the door. My love is the key to the kingdom of heaven. So what about Jesus? Master of heart resonance. But he never told anyone to wear all white in a robe, put all chains like a rap star, and wear a fish head. What did he want? To teach you to build a well, Josh, not to sell you water, so you could swim freely in the aquarium of life. Ether.
Dude, like, it's not just the most beautiful shit you've ever heard. Like,
I love it.
Like, that is, man, that's so profound.
Yes.
And that is how it works. It's how, that's what's going on.
Everything he said was done so well. And the fact that he was like, no, I don't go to church because it's right here.
It's right here.
That is
the kingdom of heaven is within you.
I have always thought that my entire life, but they really do tell you that in order to do this thing, you have to go to this place.
Well, when you do go to one of those places and then there's other people around you vibrating the same way, like,
yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, well, when
you got to find the right place.
You have to find the right place. But
know.
what I'm saying is that it's fine if you just do it on your own too.
Yeah,
it's not wrong.
You don't need the church, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need the guy with the fish hat on. You don't need any
Which
of
is
that.
Interesting because the fish hat thing is just Dagon symbolism. Dagon is also an entity. And is referenced in the Bible.
I mean, it's nothing but entities. Which is why I'm like...
Nothing but minds, parasites, Chris. Their tongues to eat your minds.
That's it, dude. They're going to suck your ether, bro. What is that? That's the lost element, right?
It's the sixth element. Yeah. You got earth, air,
I thought we didn't
fire,
talk about ether
water.
anymore.
What was the fifth one? I'm really drawing a blank here. I'm doing a bad job. The elements. So there's the 5 elements. Wow,
Water, fire,
earth,
wind,
it's the 5th
water,
element. Spirit.
But I thought
Spirit, ether.
I thought in the chart there, I thought ether wasn't there anymore. I thought that was an element we didn't deal with anymore.
This is gonna. So I was in California recently. My little sister-in-law, she's getting married, so we had an engagement party for her and stuff. We went to go visit my older sister-in-law, see her kids and stuff. And my Lyft driver was this Russian nuclear physicist who was trying to get a job in tech, but because Google was trying to use AI instead of people, he got laid off.
Yeah.
So now he's doing like Uber or whatever to, while he's studying to get go into a different field. But his foundational educational background is in nuclear physics.
Wow.
And he was talking to me about how, because I was like, hey, can I ask you a question? I was like, what is ether? And my wife's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm like, no. I think he's cool. And he's like, ether? What do you mean? And he was from Belarus.
Mm-hmm.
He's just got this thick Russian accent. And he didn't know what I was talking about. But then he figured, he goes, oh, he's like, now if you said it to me in Russian, I would have known exactly what you meant. He's like, ether, it's like electricity. Like, the problem with ether, there's no way to measure it.
Right. Because
there's no way to measure it, there's no observer effect. So then if it can't be measured, there's no units.
Right.
So they won't, the way he just explained it to me like that. And I was just like, oh, but why do they want you? Why is there no units? Why is there no way to measure ether? Well, because if everybody knew about ether, we'd probably have free energy and no one would have to deal with the consequences of Maura Healy's bullshit in Massachusetts where your electrical bills are so high. Because everything runs on power. And if you're able to get power on your own and not have to depend on these electrical companies that are just, stealing your money, you're off the grid and you're out of the control system.
Exactly.
And they can't shut your shit off if you can get it for free from the sky and the ether, yeah? So
that's what I was trying to get at, because I knew that was something tied with that, but my brain, like yours, doesn't work all the time.
Right.
It just goes, I forgot.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, God damn it, brain, stop forgetting shit. And sorry about that last one, everybody. I didn't flip the friggin' camera over for you. So what's this one? Proof that God is not a man who wrote the Bible. I don't remember.
Oh, this is cool.
This is good?
This is cool, yeah.
All right.
It almost looks like a Schumann resonance graph, if I think it's the right video.
Oh, yeah. This was another Dan Blazarian thing I put in there.
This bar graph down here are all the books of the Bible and chapters. The length, number of verses in the chapter. Every one of these lines that connects, the darker the line, the more hyper connections, and it has a rainbow of pictures to show how interconnected the Bible is. Guess how many connections in the Bible? 63,000 connections in the Bible. If this was the work composed by one man, we would say, this man is a master. The problem is, this is written by 40 different men over 1,500 years on 3 continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa, in 3 different languages, Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic. And the entire book tells one united story. It's all connected together. You find me another book in all of human civilization that even scratches the surface.
There isn't one.
I like to say that Jesus Christ is at the bottom of every rabbit hole.
Yes.
Everything leads to that.
I mean,
and when you look at what he was fighting against back in the kingdom of Judea, that's what we're fighting against now.
Yeah. Same shit.
This is the Pharisees and the Sadducees. That's your state of Israel.
Right. Yeah.
The government, not the people living in the country. The government.
The government.
That's what we were critical of. We love the people.
Yes. But I love the people of America too, but our government fucking sucks. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And we have to be able to say that. You have to be able to fight.
Right.
That's the whole fucking point of our rights. So these motherfuckers can't get ahead of us. All right. Before we get into the next one, I'm going to take a moment. I got to piss.
Hell yeah.
Whew. I was going to blow up right here on camera. So Let's bring Dirty Olaf back. I mean, if nobody's following this guy, you are fucking missing out.
You're missing out.
It's so good.
It's the most wholesome stuff.
I mean, I just love all of his videos, dude.
Hang on, what we're doing. Okay. This voice in my head is just driving me nuts. What's it saying? Nothing good. Yeah, stop listening. Stop listening. It's my voice. How do I stop listening? It's in my head, Olaf. Yeah, but it's not you, Josh. You mean it's not me? You're the one listening, not the one talking. Then who's the one talking? It's an entity, Josh. What do you think this place is? It's a war for your mind. It's a war for my mind? Yeah, Josh. What do you think the fallen angels are? It's not just 8 fallen angels. It's trillions of fallen angels and their little bitches that are swimming around here. And all they want is a vessel, Josh. A vessel? You mean my soul? No, Josh, they cannot get your soul. They want to piggyback in your soul. They want to get inside of you so that they can play around and be human. Wait, who wants to be human? Everybody, Josh. It is the greatest privilege in the universe to have a vessel. That is the point. That is God's greatest gift.
To have a
that
vessel.
He gives you. To have a vessel so you can experience life and all the pleasures and all the pains. And everybody else want a vessel, but they fallen angels. That is the curse, that you do not get a vessel. So you get stuck on this earth, and you are like a fat kid on a, at the side of a bakery, licking the windows of a candy shop. What? That's hell, Josh. Hell isn't somewhere else. Hell is right here, and heaven. It's all here. The people who do not have a vessel, they are really, really, really wanting to have a vessel so they can taste Radieschen. Okay, so who are these things? They are little floating blowjobs, Josh. They're just little ghosts that are flying around, and they want to attach to your trauma. And the lower your frequency, the shitter you feel, the easier they can enter, because then you are listening to the voice in your head. But if you are of high frequency and you're feeling good, then you don't hear the voices. You are hearing them, but you don't give a shit, because you're like, shut up, you little monster. Did you say floating blowjobs? Yeah. They want to suck your pain body trauma cock, Josh. Why would they want to do that? Because, Josh, you are leaking. You are leaking ether. You are leaking your life force from your trauma cock. Every time you get upset, you are leaking. And there's somebody there going, ah. Hey, stop. How do I get them to stop doing that? You kicked them in the face when they try to suck your cock, Josh, by not jumping onto every idea you have, every thought that come, oh, I really suck at this, and then floating on with your mind. That's them going, the deeper you go into your pain, the more you feeling this negativity and trashing yourself, the more you're just leaking it into their throats and feeding them, Josh. And the more you feed them, the bigger they get.
Dude.
I thought you told me to feel my pain. Yeah, Josh, feel it. Don't feed it.
Right.
What's the difference? You feel it, Josh, so you can see it, but you do not identify with it. You trap it, but you do not feed it with your trauma cock. Don't give it to sperma that make it bigger.
And that's the problem we have today with the mainstream media.
Dude, that is such a great message, though.
Yeah.
Again, it's so well done. And I mean, we're laughing and shit, but
it's
still,
true.
It's so very true. The way he's doing it is very comical. And I love the fact that he's bringing up ether all the time.
Yeah.
And you're like, no one talks about ether anymore.
Right.
Like, it's supposed to be like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like what we just discussed. It's not measurable, but I believe it is what we have. It is an endless energy. And if we could find a way to capture it, which I do believe was done at some point, and then people were made to be forgotten, you know.
I wonder if Tartaria was like, they knew how to harness the ether, and that's part of why there was that reset.
Yep.
And I also wonder, because I saw this other video about the catacombs.
Ooh.
And how that could have been like a reset, and they symbolically stacked those bones in there to be like, look what we did to you people. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Could be something.
It could be something. Let's see here. I got this. Catholic priest was removed after saying he believes UFOs are demons.
Sounds like somebody went against the agenda, yeah.
What? So what? Like, nobody knows that aliens are demons? Like,
sounds like he's the good guy in this situation.
Yes, 100%. And this is why I brought it up, because of the simple fact that I'm so tired of the people that are actually going against this narrative that they are painting for us. get silenced, get moved, get kicked out, don't get voted in. Some random candidate with $30 million behind him pops in 2 days before voting time and wins.
Yeah.
It's just always so annoying. So when I see something like this, I go, well, fucking hooray for him. I hope he gets on a channel and starts talking, because these are the people that I listen to.
Protect that man at all costs is all I got to say.
So the reason I'm bringing in the data centers is because I talked to you and Miguela, and what I came up with was, I believe it came out last week, was the flood maps, along with the correlating maps of data centers that match up to, basically now they have endless water and full supply. Definitely a devastating population decrease, okay? If this all happens. Now, this map was made up by the Navy. It had, like, you can see.
That's what makes it even more scary.
You see this map, right? And it, over time, it was hand drawn. It was done this, and then the Navy did it, and they solidified exactly what would happen. They, I don't know, somehow simulated it, and this is the map that they have drawn out. Well, the map lines up exactly with the data centers. It gives them endless water. It gives us depopulation. It gives them all the keys that they need. So what I did was I was like, we were all looking through, and all of a sudden, now there's other theories of the data centers. But I still think my theory holds, because if they are either demonic portals, or they happen to be
powering underground hidden cities.
Yes.
I was just gonna say
yes,
that.
powering underground cities. This is a little bit of a quick one for everybody, but what I'm getting at is if they flood us and they have endless power for their portals and their underground bunkers.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I think my theory holds up. I love the fact that you said I was onto something, because I've been dabbling with this with you guys for a little over a year, maybe two or three at this point.
Yeah.
And to finally have something click for me that you guys weren't really on, like, you know what I mean? I feel like you guys are like on top of a lot of stuff,
I mean,
but I was like, I'm onto something here.
Oh, dude, I was so proud of you. Like, so usually, like, I hate to use the term mind blown, but like usually, like, we're here, like McGilla and I usually we'll talk about some things, and Chris is like, oh my God, that blew my mind. And then Chris hits us up and it blew our minds. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, that makes so much sense. It's because they would check every single box they want. They would reduce the population. They would have their data centers. They would have that clean water. I don't know why they can't use wastewater, but they have that clean water that, you know, to keep everything cool and whatever. They recently tried to build one of those, or they were going to solidify plans to build one in Nottingham, New Hampshire.
Yeah, they got voted out, right?
Thankfully, the whole town showed up and was like, fuck off.
Yep.
Thank God, because it's so beautiful over there, man. Like, it's typical. Nottingham, New Hampshire, or that part of Rockingham County, in my opinion, is like textbook postcard New Hampshire, minus the mountains.
Yeah.
You got the hills, you got the woods, the rivers, the lakes, the little ponds. You're going to put a data center there?
Data center,
And
dude.
it's not like it's just like one little building, like,
no,
where it's like hidden and has some security.
No, these
no,
things,
it's a fucking huge
they
complex.
Are massive. They cause nothing but noise. And I don't know
And
if anybody has seen the videos of residents that live near data centers.
Sleep problems.
Absolutely no water at the faucet.
Oh, that's right. Their wells drained too, right?
Their wells are drained. They have no city water.
You come and touch my well. I'm coming for that
You
ass.
see these videos of these people living in their houses with floors filled with gallons of water because they have no fucking running water. And there's nothing that they can do about it. The only option that they have been given is to move the fuck out.
Yeah, but where are they going to go? Because you got Bill Gates privatizing all the rights to the water and the aquifers in the middle of the country and all that other stuff, and the farmland.
Never mind the fact that the housing market is out of fucking control, and if you can't sell your house, you can't move into a fucking new one. So who's going to buy a house with no running water? These people are fucked. Yeah. And it's I just think the data centers have many other things underneath them, literally, and just talking about it. But I'm saying that there's more to these data centers than what they're telling us. Yep. And I do believe that we need to be against the data centers. They don't need to build them here. We have plenty of them now.
And on that note, I just want to say to the Department of Justice and the Department of Homeland Security, shame on you for trying to put American citizens and people living here on lists because they're speaking out against the construction of these data centers. Fuck you.
Yeah, technically we are talking about something that's even
dare you
worse to talk about than Zionism right now.
Right.
Going against these data centers really could put me on a list.
It is no different than during the Biden administration.
Really
if you criticized the election, you were labeled a domestic terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you how the Patriot Act works. That's all they need to do. They label you a domestic terrorist. You have no rights. They can come black bag you, they'll take you away, and no one will ever hear from you again. And in the process of that, they'll freeze your bank accounts. They'll stop you from being able to do anything, buy, sell, whatever. Fuck that. And this is why we have the Second Amendment, because if the first one says, "Well, I can say whatever the fuck I want," the second one should probably be, "Well, I should probably have a gun too."
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Shame on you, alphabet soup agencies, for trying to put Americans into a box like this, literally and figuratively. It's not going to work, okay? Remember your oaths to the Constitution, okay? Yes. This is wrong.
Yep, 100%. I agree with you. I just thought I know.
Sucks, I used to want to work for DHS.
I get a really bad vibe with everything that's connected to these data centers. I just get a really bad vibe.
You're talking about the portals and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what if all these things all over the place is just they're gathering electricity, right? You need electricity to power those machines that CERN has in Switzerland that literally uses astrophysics to smash atoms together to open a portal, like in Stranger Things. Great show, by the way. Hope you all go watch that. It was. It was a great show. One of my favorites. I think that was based on a true story. But I feel like you need the electricity to do that because, and they'll have enough electricity where they can do it, and no one will know what's going on because you won't see anything. Like you won't see the lights flicker. You won't you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they already said CERN fucking did some damage or something, and none of us really noticed, but we all noticed little changes.
Like the Fruit of the Loom logo,
or Berenstain Bears. You know what I mean? There's so many different ones that supposedly CERN broke it. They shut it down. They're working on it. They're going to start it back up in 2027 or 2028.
Oh, right when they're going to start doing all this other weird, crazy stuff?
Right in time for the 2030 agenda.
There's no such thing as coincidence. It's all cause and effect.
No. But I do believe in the 2030 agenda.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's
terrifying.
It's terrifying.
We all need to come together and put a stop to that.
But we gotta go. I kind of want to wrap this thing up, right? And what I want to do is I want to get into the thing that I've been holding on to this entire time. I'm gonna skip past this gentleman right here, unless you want to dig into that.
Oh, let's get to what you want first, okay. And if we have time, we can just
so,
watch it and make no comments.
This blew my mind. I saw this yesterday, and this is wild to me.
Just copied a fruit fly's brain into a computer. Then they gave it a digital body and it started moving and finding food and eating. It responds to its environment and behaves exactly like a fruit fly with 95% accuracy. No training data, no machine learning. That fly is currently moving without anyone telling it to move, without anyone guiding it, without anyone training it. The fact that it knows how to walk is not the fascinating thing. It's walking because it wants to get food. So it understands hunger even though it doesn't need food. It's coded in the brain for it to find food, and it's doing it digitally. Now this team, their mission is to create a complete digital human emulation to prepare us for a future with digital intelligence. The researchers said it's not a problem of how. We know it's possible. It's just a problem of when.
Now that is the fucking Matrix, everybody. They copied a fruit fly's brain, and with 95% accuracy, it's acting as a normal
in the
fruit fly.
computer simulation.
In the computer simulation. Its brain is doing the exact same fucking thing that it would have been doing if it was just a fruit fly flying in between me and you. Doing the exact same fucking thing. So that means when they copied its brain and put it into the computer, it was at that moment of copying, and now that brain can grow within this simulation, but it already had all the information it already had. So if they copy our brains, now this is where I was like, dude, this is going to get weird, right? Let's just say they copy my brain. They would never do that. It's a waste of everybody's time. So they put
I don't know about that.
they put me into a simulation. Am I going to be looking for my mom? Am I going to be looking for my sister and my nieces and my nephews? Am I going to be walking around in this empty thing going, where is everybody? Because I'm going to be an exact copy of what the copy was. So I'll be 46, knowing everything I know. I'm dropped into a simulation. That's me at 46 with everything he knows. And now you're in a world where nothing that you knew actually existed because they're trying it out, right? So what are these brains that they copy at first going to experience when they are looking at, let's just say they actually have vision, they have everything, and they haven't made streets or stores or buildings. They just plop this entity into a white opening. What does that thing do at that point? Because we're not fruit flies. So we're not just going to run around and try to eat.
Well, it's gonna,
right?
we're looking for connection. That's what humans do in general.
Dude, which would be mind-blowing, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about the actual fucking Matrix now. Bringing your mind into a digital capacity and having it be not only where it was, but being able to continue to grow without your physical fucking body.
The question is,
wow,
say you're put into there, can you escape?
Right? And what if when you escape, where do you escape to?
And what does it look like?
Yeah, dude. Can you like
think about where we are now in humanity? If you think about the Matrix, think about it as the rules of society that we currently live in. Being on the grid, going to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
You want to escape the Matrix? You're gonna need a farm.
Yeah.
You're gonna need your own electricity. Like, it's like waking up from this sleepwalker state.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, when they roll this out, I feel like that's going to be a lot of the that whole Mark of the Beast thing.
Yeah, dude, stay away from the mark.
But like, here's what I mean by that. You go into that kind of the Matrix, this physical computerized prison system, if you will.
Yeah.
You're no longer human.
Right.
And why would you? The only reason you'd want to go do that is if you're trying to escape death because you want to live forever.
Yeah.
And it's not supposed to be that way.
Nope. Not supposed to be that way.
And that's like these elites, right? Like they don't want to die. Because if they die, they have to go and be judged.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about that. This gets into this thing called revelation of the method. Revelation of the method is an occult term. That means I have to tell you what I'm doing before I do it.
Yes.
Otherwise, the karmic backlash is on me. But if I tell you what I'm doing before I do it, and then you consent and do the thing, it's on you, not me anymore. So when Bill Gates eventually assumes room temperature, this is for entertainment purposes only, but I do mean this. Once he goes to be judged, God's going to be like, you did these horrible things to these people. And he's going to say, I told him I was going to do it before I did. I showed him in movies. I showed him in music. I showed him in social media reels. They all got the message. They just didn't want to hear it. And then they did it anyways. And then God's going to be like, yeah, that's true. Shame on them. They knew better and they did wrong.
Yeah.
You're still a piece of shit, but yeah, so are they.
Yep.
And
that is the rules that they live by.
That's how it works. They have to tell you what they're doing before they do it. And if you don't try to stop them, it's on you.
Yep.
So,
100%.
Yeah, it's called revelation of the method.
What would stop them from taking prisoners and just dumping their brain into these systems? Like, what would stop them from actually turning that into a actual prison? for people. And then people just start disappearing and winding up in this fucking matrix.
For their experiment.
Dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I think they would probably do that with a lot of homeless people. I think they'd
oh
start
my God,
there,
yeah, that would definitely start with the homeless,
and
right?
then they would probably work their ways up to the people who don't want to conform to what they want, and they'd bring you to like re-education camps, and then after they make you suffer long enough, they're gonna be like, oh, listen, we know we made you suffer for your beliefs and stuff, but you can make all this pain go away if you just go into this little digital talking.
Yeah.
Upload your consciousness into our little computer thing.
Yeah.
And you're going to be in so much pain, whatever, you're going to do it because you're a bitch.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm telling you right now, you do that to me, I'm not doing it. You want to kill me? Go ahead.
Nope.
I'm going to fight back, but, I'm not dying on that hill is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. There's no way.
If you want to come do that
so
shit to me,
weird.
I got something for you. You know?
But I just found that
Live
to
free
be,
or die.
I found that to be so freaky because they could do so many horrible things with that. I mean,
they're going to try to make life as terrible as they can to make us want to go jump into that. Like they're going to try to program your money. They're going to try to do everything on a social credit system. Like if you speak against the government, now your money's not going to work, or you can't buy steak. They'll make it so you have to buy this like fake meat or bugs or whatever that Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum said was going to be your life.
Yep. 100%, dude. That's why the Lone Star ticks out there. That's why they're giving us this alpha gal
by the way,
disease.
Speaking of the Lone Star tick and the alpha gal, red meat dairy allergy, I was reading around online, and apparently there's a holistic treatment. I don't know how effective it is. God forbid I ever have to find out. I'm gonna go this way, but if that ever happens to me or any one of you, consider going to an acupuncturist. Supposedly, they'll put like a rod or a needle in one of your ears.
Oh, good.
And they leave it in there for 2 weeks.
What?
Now, what acupuncture is, it's a balancing of the Chinese call it qi or life force, your energy, your lush, your ether, yeah?
Yeah.
The needles, they go into certain points of the body, and it helps with circulation and blood flow, and it's supposed to rebalance your life force. Now, for whatever reason, sticking one of those rods into your ear supposedly helps cure you of that alpha-gal syndrome.
Interesting.
Don't take my word for it. Go look, do your own research. If you have a local acupuncturist in your area, I would start getting to know them.
That's interesting. Yeah, because what was it? Rogan was talking on his podcast, and he said one of his buddies there got bit by this alpha-gal, and he went through so many different things, not the acupuncture, and it didn't work. Right. So that's very interesting. I would like to.
I don't know if it works.
Yeah,
I read it somewhere.
I mean, can it hurt to try? You know what I mean? What are you going to do? Eat their processed fucking meat?
You can't do that.
But that's the only thing you can eat.
Right.
That's why it's there.
I know. And then they make money off of it.
Yeah.
They make money off of your suffering.
It's all it is, dude.
Horrible.
It's all it is. They just want to make money off of all of us suffering. It's
the root of all evil.
It's really kind of sad. But if you see it and you're aware of it, you can avoid most of it.
That's why Jesus says you got to detach from your material nonsense.
You have to. You have to.
Your material things and whatnot.
It's tough.
It's hard. It's easier said than done.
It's very, very difficult. But I do try to detach myself. But I am also very upset when things get damaged or broke or I have to replace
we
them.
are human.
So we do live in the world that has been designed for us. So therefore, at the end of the day, we only know how to do the things that are handed to us. So unfortunately, that has to do with all material things and buying. So
unfortunately.
It's just the way the world is. Elijah, I thank you so much, brother, for coming on. What a great episode.
I got a very important message. I was listening to Tinfoil Hat with Sam Tripoli, and he had this person, Von Galt. She's like a I don't want to say she's a Buddhist, but like she's a very interesting take on things. Highly recommend you guys go check out those episodes, especially the recent one. It's like called Star Seeds and the Road to Nirvana or something. Buddhism's a philosophy. I don't really see it as a religion, but she had this message at the end of the episode, and she said she got this message after working with her clients and doing hypnosis work and all that other stuff. But the message comes from Source, or God, as she refers to it. And the message is this: you have always been enough. Use the gifts and resources all around you to create the life you want to experience. a life of joy and love. The spirit world will guide you through synchronicity. You can do it.
That was fucking awesome, dude. Oh my God. I love that. I love the fact that you did that. Thank you so much, man.
So if you're going through it, if you're going through hell, keep going.
That's right. Absolutely.
Okay.
It will be okay. We all have to go through our own hells, and we all deal with our own hells in different ways. But I will tell you right now, looking at your hell, dealing with your hell, and then telling your hell to go fuck off.
Hell yeah.
Getting through it, way more powerful than giving into it.
100%.
All right. Also, I guess, happy 4th of July, everybody. I forgot about that in the beginning. I always forget. We're recording this thing like 2 weeks early. So happy 4th of July. Enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Be safe out there. Remember, fireworks in your hand. Keep them open. Don't close them. Yeah. And as always, I will talk to you next week.
Bye, guys.